I built a one-day workshop called Find Your First Cottage Food Product, and it's still the core of what I do. I work with individual vendors one at a time in sessions that are focused and intense, and they're built around how that specific person thinks. And it works. Women leave with clarity, they leave with a product they can actually sell, and yeah, it works. But about 6 months ago, I started noticing something in the follow up conversations. The clarity doesn't stick the way I thought it would. A woman will nail her product in the workshop. She'll feel it, she'll know it, but then she goes back to her kitchen, back to her market table, back to the place where she's been doing this all alone, and something shifts. The doubt creeps back in, the old stories about what she can charge, who would buy it, whether she actually deserves to call herself a business owner, they all come back. It wasn't the workshop that failed, it was the environment she returned to. And that's when I understood what she was actually missing. It wasn't more information, it wasn't another tool or another framework. It was community, it was accountability, and it was the presence of other women who understand exactly what she's carrying, who won't let her shrink back down, who'll ask her the hard questions on a Tuesday night when she's alone in her kitchen wondering if any of this matters. That's what I couldn't give her in a one-day workshop, no matter how good it was. So I kept the workshops exactly as they are. They're still there. They're still one-on-one. They're still focused and intentional. But I added something on top of it. It's called the Luxury Vendor Entrepreneur Weekend Retreat. And it's a 2-night experience I designed especially for women, or specifically for women vendors. They've already done the internal work and they know their product, they have clarity on their vision, but they're still operating in isolation. 6 women, private home, 2 full days of workshops, meals, and time that's protected from everything else. The workshops are different than the one-day sessions. They're not about finding a product. They're about building a business you're not ashamed of. They're about pricing without apology. And they're about knowing when to scale and when to stay small. They're about looking at another woman across the table and realizing you're not the only one who's felt this way. But the real work happens in the spaces between the workshops. It happens over dinner. It happens on Saturday night when the formal agenda is done and 6 women are sitting together in a kitchen talking about the markets they go to, the families who don't understand, the moment they realize this was not a hobby anymore. It happens when you realize that the woman sitting next to you has the exact same fear about raising her prices that you do. And she's raising them anyway. So I'm telling you why immersion matters. One day is not enough time for that kind of trust to build. One day isn't enough time for someone to actually change how she sees herself. But 2 nights, 2 full nights where your only job is to be present, to learn, to be challenged by people who get it, that changes everything. It changes something for me, for sure. That's long enough for the old stories to start loosening up. That's long enough for you to start believing that maybe, just maybe, this business you have is it's actually real. You've been carrying it alone by yourself, but it's actually real. And it's long enough for you to make a friend who will still be texting you 3 months later, asking how the new pricing landed, telling you how she raised her prices too, asking you to keep going. That's what the retreat does that a one-day workshop can't. Now, this isn't for someone who needs to find her first product. The one-day workshop is for that woman. This is for the vendor who already knows what she makes. She knows it's good, but she's tired of proving it to herself over and over again. She's tired of being the only one who believes in her own business. She's ready to build something that lasts. She's ready to stop apologizing. She's ready to do it alongside people who understand. That's why I wrote the Home Cook Revolution, because this problem is bigger than one market table. It's bigger than one city. It's the story of women across the United States who are building businesses in their kitchens, who are following the rules, who are taking this seriously, and who are still being told by the world around them that what they do doesn't quite count. The retreat's where that book comes alive. It's where the strategies and the mindset shifts and the real talk actually land, because you're sitting in a room with 5 other women who are living the exact same thing. So if you've been wondering whether something like this exists, it does. The Luxury Vendor Entrepreneur Weekend Retreat is March 27th through the 29th, 2026. There are 6 seats. I'm taking one of them. And if you're the kind of vendor who's ready to stop doing this alone, there's one with your name on it. The link is below. I'll have a wait list pretty soon for future events. And pre-order the Home Cook Revolution if you want to sit with these ideas a little longer before you decide. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.